The human brain. In 1974, a theory was developed. That theory detailed that our brains have two separate and fully functional consciousnesses. No, it's not a B-movie mad scientist plot. This is what's known as the split brain theory. After testing a few patients that had their brain split by surgical means or otherwise, Roger Sperry came to the conclusion that different sides of the brain held different skill sets. This gave rise to the concept of left brain thinkers versus right brain thinkers. A prime example of a right brain thinker would be Leonardo da Vinci, while a prime example of a left brain thinker would be Sir Isaac Newton. Now let's go on to describe the left and right hemispheres of the brain. In the left hemisphere of your brain, this is where your calculations, number crunching, and analytical thinking are done. Mathematicians, accountants, and chemists all lean heavily on the left hemisphere. But in your right hemisphere, this is where your creativity, emotions, and recollection comes from. The majority of the people who would use the right hemisphere more than others would be your writers, artists, or sculptors. For example, here's a math problem, 12 times 8. The choices are A, 96, B, 75, or C, 93. If you solved the answer as A, 96, congratulations, you just used the left hemisphere of your brain. You would also use the left hemisphere to do your taxes, solve a Sudoku puzzle, do crosswords, or even figure out the ending to the latest whodunit murder mystery story. Now, I want you to read this sentence. Now I want you to read this sentence in Morgan Freeman's voice. Go ahead, I'll wait. Now that you've just read and imagined that, guess what? You just used your right hemisphere. So if you ever come up with a really good story, paint a beautiful painting, or discover the theory of relativity, invent the light bulb, create the internet, frankly, I could go on and on and on about all the great inventions of the past. But where did they come from? You guessed it, the right hemisphere. Roger Sperry quoted that each hemisphere is indeed a conscious system in its own right, thinking, perceiving, remembering, reasoning, willing, and emoting, all at a characteristically human level, and both the left and right hemisphere may be conscious simultaneously in different, even in mutually conflicting, mental experiences that run along in parallel.